Humm, baby.
Enjoy this great game.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Humm Baby Baseball channel. This is Eric, and today we're talking about COVID-19 and MLB coming up with new regulations, new rules, new guidelines, trying to contain this thing so we can get through this season. We've had 2 outbreaks. The Miami Marlins, over 20 positives. They're finally playing again, and they're playing well. A lot of fans not too happy about that because we're kind of mad at the Marlins. But hey, props to them. They're playing well, even with that roster that they got now, which is not even as good as their original roster, which wasn't that great to begin with. And the Marlins are out there. They're in first place. What the hell? Of course, they don't have nearly as many games played, so it's going to be weird at the end of the season. If we can't get to equal amount of games, that's going to be a whole different discussion on whether this thing is fair or not. But hey, let's just get through this season. It's weird. Let's keep rolling. Also, the St. Louis Cardinals came down with 13 positives at least. Terrible news. And they're showing some symptoms. It's all bad over there. They're not playing right now. So it's all bad. And MLB knows that this can't continue. At this pace, 0 chance to get through the season. Straight 0 chance. So we got new rules. Major League Baseball is threatening to suspend players and staff members for the remainder of the season for repeated or flagrant violations of league's coronavirus protocols, Bob Nightingale reported. Very interesting. So now they're coming up with more strict rules and strict punishments. And he obtained a 6-page memo sent to all 30 clubs on Wednesday highlighting the league's increased urgency in containing the spread of COVID-19 following the outbreaks I mentioned. Everyone must be accountable for their own conduct because the careless and reckless actions of a few can impact the health and well-being of everyone, the league wrote. Any covered individuals, whether player or club staff, who are found to have repeatedly or flagrantly violated the protocols, including refusing to wear a face covering when required or reminded to do so, risk being prohibited from further participation in 2020. So we could find out certain players, coaches, or managers getting suspended for the season because they don't follow this stuff. Now, I don't think it's probably going to happen, but it could. Here are the revised protocols. And I'm just going to say a lot of these I understand how they can stop the spread possibly within the team, but I'm more worried about players going out, players getting around people they don't know, players getting around people who are not part of Major League Baseball, casinos, clubs, out at the lake, whatever it might be. That's what I'm more worried about. And then they bring it back into the clubhouse. If you don't do that in the first place, if you stay quarantined, you stay away from everybody except amongst yourselves, it shouldn't spread. I mean, you shouldn't get it. You still could. It's possible. Something weird could happen. I get that. You know, we live in a world with a lot of people and just, it's hard. You still got to travel. You're still going places. It's just tough. But I'm just saying, if you really focus on that, that's probably what's best, just to keep it completely out. Because once it's there, despite some of these rules we're going to talk about, how can you, it's just, you're on the planes together, you're on the buses together, you're in the clubhouse together, you're in the dugout together. It's tough to contain it to 1 or 2 people. That's really tough, which the Marlins and Phillies, and not Marlins and Cardinals proved. But here are some of the revisions. Players and staff to wear mask coverings at all time, inside dugout, in the clubhouse. Unless you're on the field playing, you gotta wear a mask. The same individuals must also wear face coverings at all times in the hotel and at public places on the road. Pretty much they've got a mask on their face all the time. Clubs are now required to reduce the size of traveling parties to only personnel who are absolutely essential to playing games. I kind of thought it was like that, but apparently not. I thought that you already had just essential people. I thought that was the idea, but apparently it wasn't that way. Now it is, okay? Staff and players are strictly prohibited from meeting in hotel rooms while on the road and may not gather in any public areas outside the hotel without permission from team's compliance officer. Some of this stuff feels like it's going to be tough to enforce, but if there's a compliance officer there who's reporting straight to Manfred or something, that's how this might work, even though I don't know how much they're going to respect the compliance officer, but they might want to listen to him or her because that officer is going to be reporting back to MLB. Any player or staff member must notify their compliance officer if they intend to leave the hotel on the road. Very important. Where the hell are you going? What is it for? Do you need to go there?
Oh, we're just going to the casino, just let out some stress, we're just taking up, a few $1,000s each, nothing big, and we're just going to be back in a couple hours. We'll stay away from everyone else, wear a mask.
Compliance officer be like, okay. All clubs are now required to provide outdoor covered spaces for visiting players and staff members to sit. Okay, thank you so much. Players and staff members who have been ordered to quarantine or isolate on the road may not leave their hotel rooms under any circumstance. Which they're not going to need to. They're going to have everything they need. They're going to get their food. They're going to get their beverages. They're going to get their bathrooms and everything in a beautiful, I'm sure, a freaking 50-star room with everything they need, with the TV, with every channel that ever existed, and every movie that's ever been made is going to be there. So I'm pretty sure they're going to be fine. Yes, it sucks not being able to leave and go outside. Yes, that would suck. But if you're quarantined, you got to do it. It's just the way it is. On Wednesday, Rob Manfred said that he felt the players were doing a good job adhering to the league's coronavirus protocols. What's up with this dude and his flip-flopping? Those words came less than a week after he suggested the season could be shut down if the league and players couldn't get a handle on the virus. The same guy that one day said we will 100% absolutely, without a doubt, have a baseball season this year. The next day he's like, well, I can't guarantee we're going to have a baseball season this year. Then later he says the league is going to shut down. If we can't do this, Monday could be the last day. And then a few hours later, we're not shutting down. I'm not a quitter. We're going. This dude just says whatever the first thing pops in his head. I mean, I'm sorry. Whatever the case, the league is already facing an uphill battle against the virus and against the clock. There were 33 games postponed last week alone, with many of those directly relating to COVID-19. And in order to complete the season, the league will need everyone to follow protocols and will probably need some luck as well. And I agree with that. So, as long as we're rolling, and we're still rolling right now. These new protocols are fine, and we knew that they had to change some stuff and come up with new rules. I'm not necessarily mad about that, but I do think that the rules started out a little bit too relaxed. I think that some of this stuff should have been in place from the beginning. You got to wear masks when you're not playing, and if you're not, you can get punished for it. Should have been from the beginning. You can't go out. You can't go to casinos. It's not just trying to get discouraged. It's not allowed. If you don't like it, then opt out. Should have been from the beginning. Should have been from the beginning a compliance officer. These things should have been from the beginning if they were really on top of it. The way that it's gone the first couple weeks deserves criticism. This has been pretty much an unmitigated disaster. It's been terrible, and it can't continue. I think if this was one other team, especially if it was in the West, because we got the East infected, we got the Central infected, and if a team on the West was to get it, they might shut down. So absolutely, let's go. Follow these guidelines, players, coaches, staff, and keep it clean, keep it safe. Don't go out, don't party. It's not very long. It's a 60 freaking game season. I could go 60 years without going to a club, and will. So please, don't be selfish. Relax. Stay at the hotel room. Let's do this. Let's make it through, because I really want to see who's going to be in the playoffs this year. The Miami Marlins are in first place. I don't think that's going to stay, but that's been an amazing situation there with the Marlins. Like it or not, they are in first place. They got the highest winning percentage. They haven't played as many games, but really interesting what the Marlins are doing over there. And Cardinals should be back on the field soon enough. And let's get this thing going. Let's get all the teams back in action. Let's stop postponing games, stop canceling games. Let's keep this thing clean. Let's do it and play baseball. I'm going to talk to you guys very soon. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed to Always Talking Baseball over here. We do pre and post games for the Giants. We're going to be doing pre and post games for other teams in the playoffs if the Giants are not in the playoffs. So always going to be covering games as they go. We do all the scores here. We do all the highlights and the updates and everything here. It's all about baseball right here on the Humm Baby Baseball channel. We got a website, HummBabyBaseball.com. We got a prospects YouTube channel, Humm Baby Baseball Prospects. Just Humm Baby Prospects. We don't play around here. So hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button, hit that bell for notifications if you want to know when I'm going live and when I got a new video up. Talk to you very, 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 very soon. See ya!
When the Giants come to town, it's bye-bye, baby. Every time the chips are down, it's bye-bye, baby. History's in the making at Oracle Park.